Hello there, Nightline begins with me, Muhammed, Ahmad, Hamdan. The top stories. Cabinet to meet early over high cost of living, food supply issues. And most poultry farms ready to supply chickens to the market, says Muffy. Good morning. The weekly cabinet meeting, which usually takes place on Wednesday, will be brought forward to Monday in order to discuss cost of living and food supply issues. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry, KPD and HEP, as well as the Agriculture and Food Industries Ministry, MAFI, would brief the cabinet on these issues, including short and long-term plans to overcome the problems.
Besok saya percepatkan bicara kabinet pada isu yang banyak sekarang ini melibatkan ayam. Saya bukan tumpu pada ayam semata-mata, tetapi dua perkara ini, iaitu kos sara hidup yang kita jangka akan meningkat. Dan ini adalah fenomena global kerana masalah perang dan sebagainya. Sudahlah pandemik, tak boleh mengeluarkan bahan makanan hasil dan sebagainya lama. Dan lepas elok sikit, tiba-tiba perang di Rusia.
Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said this during a press conference after opening the symposium on internationalisation of Bahasa Melayu at Dewan Bahasa and Pustaka on Sunday. The Prime Minister also said apart from the approved permit AP for food imports, the government is also studying the possibility of abolishing other types of AP to ease the pressure arising from shortages of other goods. On Wednesday, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the government had decided to abolish the AP for food imports with immediate effect. Meanwhile, checks by the Department of Veterinary Services found that most poultry farms are ready to supply chickens to the market. The Agriculture and Food Industries Ministry, MAFI, in a statement on Sunday, said the inspection was carried out following a report that a group of chicken cartels had taken action to stop farm operations, thus causing a shortage of chicken supply in the market. Describing the report as inaccurate, the ministry said the poultry farm companies have given the assurance that their farms would continue to supply the local market with whole chicken, either in super and standard sizes or as cut pieces. However, it noted that some chicken farms have been faced with the problem of reduced weight gain in chickens due to the quality of chicken feed, diseases or extreme hot weather conditions, especially in the open coops, which have undeniably affected the supply of chicken in certain areas. The ministry also informed that the evaluation process for the provision of subsidy to poultry farmers who have submitted their application is being expedited, and farmers who meet the conditions would be able to receive their claims within the promised period. The statement added that MAFI will continue to hold meetings and engage with all parties who are directly involved in the chicken supply chain to ensure continuity of supply. The ministry also views issues that threaten the country's food security as serious and will always work together with stakeholders to ensure adequate supply of chicken for the country's needs at all times. In the meantime, traders are worried that the low chicken supply on the weekend could see them run out of fresh birds for customers in the upcoming days. The issue has since become a hot topic among Malaysians, with some venting their frustration over the supply disruption.
Checks at the Chowkit market here found that traders are still struggling with their poultry supply as they are still depending on chicken suppliers. There are some traders who sold the birds in limited quantity, while there were some who could not operate today because of the poultry supply crisis.
There were some traders complaining that the chicken supply that they received were not enough to meet with the demand, as they need to limit their sales per customer due to the shortage.
Ini ayam mana cukup? Tak ada cukup. Hari ini dah 4 hari dah ayam tak cukup.
Berapa hari ayam tak cukup?
Tak ada cukup. Kalau dapat peladang keluar lah ayam dia dalam minggu-minggu ni. Kalau tak ada keluar, apa nak kita jual macam ini je lah hari-hari. Biasa minta 5 ekor, minta 10 ekor. Mana boleh bagi 5 ekor, bagi 3 ekor. Yang 10 bagi 5 ekor. Macam kita lah. Macam orang-orang lain tak tahulah kan. Dia boleh jual banyak. Kalau kita sikit-sikit aja.
Another chicken trader, Nasrul Awang, said the move to temporarily halt the chicken production has affected his sales, causing him to look for other alternatives to get the chicken supplies.
Ini hari ayam lagi kurang ini hari. Besok tak ada terus. Besok tak ada lagi pergi. Besok tak ada terus. Besok mungkin tak ada. Ini hari pun ikut tak ada ni. Lori tak jalan. Kita bagian jual mana kita tahu dengar macam ni, macam yang sekarang yang stop ladang bukan tengah. Orang bukan dari yang tengah ni kan. Ini dari ladang. Ladang kalau dia tutup habis. Dia yang pegang semua.
The shortage in the supply of fresh poultry compounded by the steady demand for the essential food item has forced chicken traders to close their shops early. Consumers also expressed their disappointment, especially during the Hari Raya Aidilfitri festive period.
Sekarang pun tengah raya, orang pun banyak memerlukan ayam untuk buat macam kenduri, open house semua. So saya jangkakan mungkin selepas raya ni ayam pun akan kembali kembali banyak di pasaran lah.
Some of the consumers also urged the government to take action regarding this matter, expressing hope that the food crisis issue will not affect other daily essential items.
Harap kerajaan atasilah benda ni, benda keperluan kan, benda yang lain-lain kan. Ini baru ayam, takut benda-benda keperluan lain macam tepung, benda macam minyak tu lah. Harap pengguna yang terbeban lah sekarang ni kan.
Many also express hope that the issue of chicken shortage will be taken seriously by all parties to ensure that it does not continue for a long time and further affect the food security problems faced by consumers. Alif Yunus, TV3.
Moving on, the abolition of the approved permits AP for food products is in line with the government's desire to ensure continuity in supplies. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Alexander Nantalinggi said it was also expected to create access of supplies in the market that would benefit consumers, as food products would be easily available compared to the current situation. In a statement on Sunday, Datuk Seri Nanta said the market for essential items would be more competitive and a drop in prices is expected, depending on specific quantum and quality and packaging aspects. However, he said it would take some time for the AP abolition to have a positive impact on consumers, as it depended on several factors such as the procurement process, halal certification and customs inspection. As such, he said the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry would present a proposal on interministerial efforts that would cover several basic aspects under its jurisdiction at the Cabinet meeting on Monday. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob had said the government agreed not to impose AP for the import of foodstuff with immediate effect to ensure sufficient food supply in the country. The Transport Ministry, through the Land Public Transport Agency APAD, has instructed certain e-hailing companies to explain the price surge of services provided by their respective platforms. Its Minister Datuk Seri Wee Ka Siong said he expects the e-hailing companies to provide an explanation on the matter within the next 2 days.
Tapi kita kena faham pemanduan taksi dengan e-hailing, dia adalah dua jenis perniagaan yang berlainan. Satu ni dia menawarkan perkhidmatan taksi kenderaan. Satu ni gunakan platform. Yang inilah kita nak lihat kenapa berlakunya sebegitu. Saya rasa saya dah minta pegawai saya dan saya difahamkan mereka sedang berbincang dengan syarikat e-hailing untuk dapatkan maklumat.
He said this after inspecting the LRT service escalators and lifts at the Ampang Park LRT station on Sunday. Datuk Seri Wee also said if there was price surge in e-hailing services, the complaints raised by the people over the issue are relevant and warrant explanation from the e-hailing companies. He was asked to comment on passengers' grouses voiced over social media platforms on the surge of e-hailing fares. They also called for the government to intervene by implementing an e-hailing fare regulation. Datuk Seri Wee, however, said he wanted to be fair to all parties and will wait for the explanation from the e-hailing companies before deciding on the next course of action to mitigate the situation. Now, the government has approved 132.4 million ringgit in development allocation for the Malaysian Fire and Rescue Department under the 12th Malaysia Plan to improve its readiness and for the welfare of its personnel. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said, as a government responsible and concerned for the development of fire and rescue services in the country, various efforts have been taken to fulfill the service commitments towards Malaysians, especially from the aspect of firefighting infrastructure development and human capital. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the allocation covers procurement of fire engines, utility vehicles, fire forensics vehicles, personal protective equipment and firefighting monitoring software systems aimed at boosting the department's effectiveness in handling emergency cases. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri also said that the department needed to boost its efficiency and professionalism through strategic programs, followed by an action plan that encompass all Malaysians to deal with current challenges. In light of this, the Prime Minister said the Housing and Local Government Ministry and the Fire and Rescue Department have acted proactively to craft the National Fire and Rescue Policy DKPN 2021-2030. The policy involves commitment from all parties to craft strategic partnerships with safety, fire and firefighting industries.
Ini amat penting kerana ia mampu membuka dimensi baru kepada pertumbuhan yang daya saing dan daya saing ekonomi negara. Pemantapan terhadap aspek perlindungan kebakaran melalui penggunaan teknologi terkini seperti automasi dan robotik pula mampu meningkatkan keyakinan bukan sahaja daripada kalangan keluarga Malaysia, malah pemain industri dan juga pelabur.
The Prime Minister said this in his World Firefighters Day speech at the grounds of the Dewan Millennium in Kepala Batas Pulau Pinang on Sunday. From the aspect of welfare, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the government had approved the extension of special skills allowance payment applications to officers acting as coaches and teachers at the Malaysian Fire and Rescue Academy. The allowance approval will benefit 114 fire officers from grade KB19 to KB38 who are assigned as coaches and teachers at 5 academies. At another event on Sunday, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri has expressed hope that the scope of cooperation among ASEAN countries could be planned more carefully so that Bahasa Melayu could be made the lingua franca again. He said this included in the aspects of research, publication and nurturing of the Malay language. Speaking when opening the International Symposium on Bahasa Melayu at Wisma Dewan Bahasa and Pustaka in Kuala Lumpur on Sunday, the Prime Minister said the Malay language has its own uniqueness and advantages, especially among the ASEAN countries, and can be made one of the official languages of ASEAN.
Setiap surat yang saya sendiri hantar kepada pemimpin-pemimpin dunia menggunakan bahasa Melayu dengan terjemahan bahasa Inggeris pada lampiran. Saya juga telah memulakan rundingan 2 hala dengan menggunakan bahasa Melayu. Tidak ada cacatnya perundingan tersebut dengan penggunaan bahasa Melayu.
Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said at the ASEAN level, the integration on the use of the Rumi spelling system and terminology had been achieved through forums such as the Brunei Indonesia Malaysia Language Council, MABIM, and the Southeast Asian Literary Council, MASTERA. Therefore, he said the Malay language should be upheld in the country, including by amending the DBP Act 1959 to empower DBP to carry out enforcement against offences involving the use of the language. Coming up after this short break, WHO expects more monkeypox cases to emerge globally. Don't go away. news from the foreign front. Incoming Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Sunday vowed to end Australia's reputation as a climate laggard and reset relations with the rest of the world as he raced to form a government in time for a key Tokyo summit. Fresh from an electoral victory that ended a decade of Conservative rule, Albanese signalled an era of fairer, greener and less pugilistic politics for Australia.
It's a big moment in my life, but what I want it to be is a big moment for the country. I do want to change the country. I want to change the way that politics operates in this country.
So far, with votes still being counted, it is unclear whether Albanese's Labour Party will win enough parliamentary seats to form an outright majority, or whether he will have to turn to independents or smaller parties for support. But Albanese and key ministers are expected to be sworn in on Monday to be able to attend a summit with Japanese, Indian and US leaders, the so-called Quad.
Mary, you got the photo?
The World Health Organization, WHO, said it expects to identify more cases of monkeypox as it expands surveillance in countries where the disease is not typically found. It said as of Saturday, 92 confirmed cases and 28 suspected cases of monkeypox have been reported from 12 member states that are not endemic for the virus, adding it will provide further guidance and recommendations in coming days for countries on how to mitigate the spread of monkeypox. So far, available information suggests that human-to-human transmission is occurring among people in close physical contact with cases who are symptomatic. Monkeypox is an infectious disease that is usually mild and is endemic in parts of West and Central Africa. National shuttler Li Zijia won the Thailand Open on Sunday after beating China's Li Shifeng in the men's singles final. The world number 6 fought back from a game down to beat unseeded Shifeng 17-21, 21-11, 23-21 in 70 minutes. It was the world number 6 Zijia's second title on the trot after winning the Asian crown in Manila earlier this month. The Kedah-born Zijia pocketed $27,000 for winning the Thailand Open. Apart from Zijia, only two other Malaysians, Yong Hock Kin in 2001 and Hafiz Hashim in 2005, had won the Thailand Open men's singles crown. Zijia has been unbeatable in Bangkok, as he also won all his Thomas Cup matches in the Thai capital recently. On to the 2021 SEA Games, Chen Tangjie Pek Yen-wei captured the gold medal in the badminton mixed doubles event on Sunday, adding to Malaysia's tally at the Games. The duo, ranked 29 in the world, bagged the title after beating teammates Hu Pang-ron Chia Yi-si in the final at the Bak Jiang Gymnasium. In the highly entertaining and energetic final in Hanoi, second seed Pang-ron Yi-si started the match in an aggressive form to lead 11-5 in the first set before going on to win it in 21-15 in 15 minutes. After a close fight in the second set, Tangjie Yen-wei, aged 24 and 26 respectively, levelled the score with a narrow victory of 21-19 against the world number 23. With the winners to be decided in the rubber set, Tangjie Yen-wei rose to the occasion, winning in 21-13 to the cheers of the spectators at the indoor arena. Their 68-minute victory on Sunday also meant Malaysia take home a first SEA Games mixed doubles gold medal since 1999. This was the only goal contributed by the badminton contingent in this edition's Games, and with Sunday's win, Malaysia ended their 31st SEA Games badminton campaign in Hanoi with a gold, 2 silver and a bronze. Meanwhile, the national contingent's gold medal hunt ended on Sunday with Muay Thai exponent Ahmad Nur Iman Alif Rakib delivering a surprise gold medal for Malaysia. The 19-year-old world junior champion who made his debut at the SEA Games won the men's 54 kilograms category after beating Vietnam's Hoang Phi Nguyen 30-27 in Sunday's final at the Bak Ninh Gymnasium. It is the 39th gold medal for the Malaysian contingent at the Hanoi SEA Games. The bronze medal of the event went to Filipino participant Arya Lee Lampakan and Sakchai Chamshit from Thailand. And on to football, the national under-23 football squad will return home empty-handed after losing 3-4 to Indonesia via penalty shootout following a 1-1 draw in regulation time in the bronze medal match of the 31st SEA Games on Sunday. After a goalless first half, Indonesia took the lead through Ronaldo Joybara Jr. in the 68th minute, and Hadi Fayad Abdul Razak equalised for the Young Tigers 9 minutes from time to force a match into extra time in which both teams failed to score. Indonesia then won the bronze after Hadi and Lukman Hakim Shamsuddin missed from the penalty spot. The defeat meant that the national squad failed to pick up a medal at the SEA Games for the second consecutive time, after Dato' Ong Kim Swee's squad took the silver in the 2017 Kuala Lumpur edition. Meanwhile, Vietnam earlier successfully defended the SEA Games men's football gold medal after beating Thailand 1-0 in the final on Sunday night. After this breather, Health Ministry advises against use of alternative treatment for Hfmd. The Health Ministry does not encourage alternative treatment methods such as using turmeric powder and semambu or neem leaves to treat hand, foot and mouth disease Hfmd. Deputy Health Minister Dr. Nur Azmi Ghazali said instead, people were advised to see a doctor if they have symptoms of infection.
Kita dah tahu dia disebabkan oleh enterovirus kan. Kita tahu dan kita tahu dia tidak ada rawatan yang spesifik dari segi sains, dari segi kesihatan sains dan kita tahu bahawa penyakit ini setakat ini tidak membawa gejala yang sangat yang teruk, cuma kita bimbang dehidrasi. Jadi pesakit-pesakit biasanya isolasi diberi rawatan simptomatik. Itu dia tidak ada rawatan spesifik virus ni. Jadi pada ketika ini KKM tidak menggalakkan rawatan-rawatan yang alternatif yang tidak tentu lagi lah, yang tidak ada sahih daripada sains.
He said this when met by reporters at the Aidilfitri Open House at his residence in Taiping, Perak on Sunday. The soaring cases of Hfmd currently being reported in the country has caused some alarm, as the majority of cases involve children who were placed in nurseries. However, the public need not worry, as the Health Ministry is managing the situation well, which is under control. Ahmad reports.
As of May 17th, Malaysia recorded 31,661 cases of Hfmd, which is 15 times the amount that was recorded within the same period in 2021. Last year, the country recorded only 2,121 cases in the same Epidemiology Week report. According to the Malaysian Medical Association, MMA, Hfmd cases were at an all-time low because of the COVID-19 pandemic, as the young ones were kept indoors as well as with the frequent lockdowns. Its president, Dr. Koh Kachai, said the sudden increase in the number of children infected with Hfmd is due to the opening up of schools, daycare facilities and nurseries after the prolonged isolation during the pandemic.
Schools and kindergartens were not open. The viruses that cause hand, foot and mouth disease spreads mostly by close contact with infected individuals. Hence, the rather obvious reason for an increase in number now that the schools and kindergartens are open.
Dr. Koh also noted that there is no lack of awareness among parents and guardians when it comes to this disease. He pointed out that the public has mostly been concentrating on COVID-19 to the extent that they may have forgotten about other infectious diseases, including dengue. Dr. Koh added that childcare centres are advised to be put under temporary closure if there are more than a few cases detected.
The need to close childcare centres, including kindergarten and nurseries, may be considered even if it involves only sporadic cases. I note that there have been closures even if there is only one confirmed case of hand, foot and mouth disease detected. However, temporary closure is definitely advised if there are more than a few cases detected.
Dr. Koh also reminded the public to continue to have good personal hygiene, such as those practiced during the COVID-19 pandemic, to prevent a further increase in the number of Hfmd cases. As for the parents, they are concerned about the rising cases of Hfmd as it involves their children's health.
I'm concerned about it, particularly because it's been something like very talked about especially among us ni kan, and also because it affects a lot, especially on children.
The cases is rising now, and we are afraid that all the children will be spread to each other very easily because firstly they don't know how to take care themselves, and then some of the schools and all these places SOP is not so tight.
Some of them also reminded parents to not simply overlook this matter and start educating their children about good personal hygiene.
But I guess for those who have children 7 and below, they should be concerned and they should take care of their personal hygiene more if they are sending kids especially to Tadika or Taska.
Kena jaga kebersihan lah yang penting. Rumah kena sentiasa bersih, kena kemas. So mainan-mainan dia pun tak boleh nak dekat lantai biar macam tu kutip-kutip macam itulah.
Failure to take preventive measures and ensure hygiene in nurseries has been the reasons for the spread of Hfmd. However, parents can prevent their kids from getting infected by educating them on practicing good personal hygiene at home. Hakim Azman, TV3.
As Nightline draws to a close this time around, let's take a look at Russia's world-class Tulip Festival in St. Petersburg, one of the brightest and mostly widely anticipated events. With that, I'm Muhammed, Ahmad Hamdan. Thank you for watching and stay safe.